I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast. I'm Julio, joined by Francisco.
Here I am.
What's up, dude?
I'm here.
Dude, I don't know. So I'm wearing this shirt that we got made for our live shows.
Oh, yeah. Lots
which is
to
pretty
unpack
funny.
here. Lots to unpack
It's a lots to unpack here shirt with the famous image of Francis and I, 3 sheets to the wind.
Yes, the iconic photo. In fact, you can see the spout of a handle of Tito's just there in the foreground.
Our eyes are both appear to be permanently sealed.
Askance. Yes. Oh, yeah. Flip that down. Give it a little tilt there.
Little tilterino.
So this is an iconic photo. This was one of our first true friendship hangs. And boy, did we get after it that day.
Early in the mix, that was the introductory of me drinking lime shard tequila
Julio
with no ice. And you see a little OTP logo on the sleeve.
Can't hold me down.
For now, these are only going to be available at this live show. So if you guys are coming, you'll be able to grab one. And we'll see what we're going to do after that. Maybe we'll make them available. Maybe we won't. We will see.
Pretty sick.
what's
Boy,
up?
I promise this is the last time I bring up Halloween. But could you believe how many people went as Pete Davidson for Halloween?
I didn't see anybody.
My whole news feed was
Really?
people going as,
No, it was Travis
Barker.
Travis Barker and Chloe.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yes.
Big year
You're
for
right.
Scooby-Doo this year.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
Scooby-Doo's?
in the younger people, yeah, everybody was Scooby-Doo.
Chris, how many different Halloween costumes did you have?
One.
Just one?
Yeah, I bought one. I was like, I'm just going to wear it.
Chris's
was like
Wario
over,
was pretty iconic.
over my outfit, though. It wasn't like I was
Yeah.
just wearing that.
A
so.
lot of people had multiple Halloween costumes because they were going to multiple parties.
Yeah, that's a thing for sure. I just made mine that
I
day.
did not have one.
Oh, because you were on the road. You got
Yeah.
lucky. Chris's picture of him being Wario, evilly laughing toward the ceiling, is
It's
one of
great.
my favorite pictures I've ever
It's
seen.
really
I think.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It makes
you
me
can
laugh
hear
every
it.
time.
Yeah.
Wah!
Yeah. Hey, did I tell you? I didn't tell you this. In Richmond, that I went to a frat party.
Wow. I love this about Francis, that like there are things that like they tell you not to do on the road. And I think Francis like made a good point as to why he's able to do this, because, you know, we feel pretty comfortable with a lot of our supporters and we don't feel like they're weirdos. So we don't mind hanging out with them.
Mhm.
However, one thing that's like comedy on the road 101, things you don't do. One of them is going to a frat party.
Is that said? That's a thing?
Well, it usually only applies to a show at a college, which you're like contractually typically not allowed to.
Oh, okay.
But still, people maybe break that rule. But like, still, it would be rare to kind of find a comedian who's welcome at a frat party, because
Yeah.
the person who'd want to go, they would think that guy's weird a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You are not that.
No.
So anyway,
Not weird.
and it's cool that you always find yourself in these interactive situations.
Well, this
Give me some
was
scoop.
this was an insane situation. I don't want to sort of leave too many details. I don't want them to get in trouble. But I went to this frat party, and okay, we're in our early 30s. All we ever hear right now about colleges in America is what? Like, what's your impression of college kids right now?
That they're super woke.
Bingo.
They have bad style.
College, in short, doesn't seem that fun anymore.
Dude, so we have, so I'm not, this isn't me interrupting you. We got an email from somebody really quickly. I just want to throw this out there.
Please.
This person said, it's titled Your Gen Z Voice. And she says, hello, big fan. I'm 19 years old and a student at Arizona State. And I think I would be a good fit to answer some questions about my generation.
Great.
She goes, you guys often question about the culture when it comes to sex, hookups, as well as other norms of my generation. I lived in the ASU business dorms last year as a college freshman during COVID. I think I'd provide a well-rounded perspective, as well as being a devoted fan. Congrats to Francis on the engagement, blah, 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 blah. But if we happen to have any questions, we should definitely utilize
That's
our friend
great.
here. So
But
continue.
I'm with you, right? In my perception of the American collegiate landscape is one of kind of very austere sanctions and safe space kind of megaphoning and I don't know, just like that the administrations are cracking down on things that are judged to be microaggressions or whatever it is that the fun we knew,
Yes.
There's
no longer
binge drinking, partying, fucking dancing, and whatever it is just there's no place for that anymore. And that was sort of my thought. I went to this frat party. It was a day party on a Saturday, where everyone was going to go to like Halloween parties later. So all these guys were dressed up in Halloween costumes. And it was at a house that some of the frat guys lived in. And they had set up a game. It was a keg race game,
that's
right?
fun.
So they had 2 kegs, but I think they were half kegs. They had about 20 guys on each team. And they put the kegs on opposite sides of the yard and they set up a cone in the middle. And 2 captains from each team sort of drafted their teams, picked teams. And then, by the way, keep in mind, everyone's in costumes. Ridiculous costumes.
Love it.
So I watched, the objective of the game is to run into the enemy territory and induce yourself to vomit on their keg.
So you pull the trigger on yourself. I mean, dude, so much for your theory. Jesus Christ. This sounds like...
It is full contact.
So people were vomiting all over the place? Is it like a Family Guy episode?
They were trying, but it was very hard for anyone to get it was like capture the flag. It's very hard to get close to the other team's keg because they had set up, walls of defense.
Jesus.
And guys are getting full-blown wrestled, tackled, thrown to the ground. Heavy thuds of bodies hitting the grass. I mean, I've never seen, it was like...
It wasn't for like initiation or anything. This is just the game that they were playing.
I think some of them were rushing, but I mean, everyone was excited about it.
Jesus, dude.
It's like wrestling. No punching, wrestling and throwing up on each other were the 2 forms
were
of
people vomiting that you saw?
Oh yeah.
You got there and then you had to puke on the thing and that was fun.
Well, they would go back to their keg, chug 2 beers to get fuel to throw up. And sometimes they wouldn't even try to throw up on the opposing team's keg. They would just throw up on each other.
Oh my God. So let me ask you, so this is Richmond or VCU? What school?
I'm not even going to say.
Okay. Yeah. You don't want to get these kids. So Sophia, by the way, if you're listening and if you've heard anything that you can add stuff to, or if you want to fact check Francis's initial sort of assumption about college life, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. This was, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. I kind of felt, because I was sitting on the sidelines, I felt like the rich investors in Squid Game who just arrived for the final
Wearing
thing
masks.
and watch 2 teams of people try to kill each other.
So you didn't play?
No, I had shows that night.
That's what I was wondering. Did you
couldn't
drink
be
a lot during the day?
Submitting to chokeholds and being vomited on. I had 2 beers.
Okay.
But it did look pretty fun, I have to say. If I had been 5 years younger, I would have jumped in.
Interesting.
But the vomiting was pretty gross. But dude, these kids were running around shrieking and,
Jesus.
sticking their fingers down their throats at a dead sprint and then running at the keg only to get body checked and thrown through the air and then whoa, pick themselves up, limp back to the other side, chug a beer, recover, and go. I mean, they're at that age where nothing hurts them somehow. Somehow, nothing can hurt a 20-year-old or a 19-year-old. You just don't get hurt.
I don't know that I would have ever found that fun, but I certainly have been around that kind of energy. And, I think that regardless of whether or not you find that particular activity fun, the South is considered more fun, I think.
100%.
For college, it's just a little wilder. And I think that, I don't know where the fuck the Mason-Dixon line is, but I think that de facto Richmond is kind of considered the cutoff to where the South begins.
Interesting.
From what I've heard from people.
That's fair.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's an interesting place to draw the line. Yeah, because everything, like the next city north of Richmond is like Baltimore and then DC.
Right. No, Baltimore's further north than DC.
Okay.
But whatever.
So
But
it's
yeah,
DC.
DC, yes. And but don't get me wrong, Richmond is like an artsy town. It's not like the quotes, it's not like southern, overly southern.
Yeah.
It's not like being in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like fucking Roll Tide situation.
Right.
But yes.
But
sounds fun.
So dude, the game was won when one team sent, en masse a huge throng of guys to the keg, and somehow they managed to penetrate the defense. They started trying to grab the opposing team's keg. I guess another way you could win is to take their opposing team's keg back across to your territory. And so there was this like 40 guys pulling, in a big sort of, I don't know, a 40-man melee, trying to pull for the keg. And in that moment, some guy snuck up from the side with his fingers down his throat and threw up all over the keg. And then nobody was like, gross. They were all like, oh, we lost. The amount of like, oh man, we fought so hard.
Oh my God. Dude.
They're like, there's chunks of fucking food. I mean, it's disgusting. But it completely assuaged any doubts that I had that college kids are no longer having fun.
Wow. Interest. That's wild. Dude.
College is going
as good as ever.
Strong as ever. And in fact, I would say they've invented new ways to act like fucking idiots and have a blast. And, we went out to the shows after the shows on Thursday. Some people came out and, some college kids that came to the shows, and then they brought we went to a bar and some of their girlfriends came and everyone was in costumes and, people drinking shots, having a great time. It was like everyone, it's just college, man.
Yeah.
It's going the same way. It's the same shit.
Unbelievable, dude. I mean, hearing shit like that makes me believe that in certain situations, freshmen are actually, in fact, blowing the seniors for like initiation.
I wonder.
I would argue that vomiting on each other is as sort of aggressive as making you blow the seniors. To be honest, I can't really decide which one I would rather do.
Come on.
I'm being serious.
That's an easy one.
You think you'd much rather get vomited on?
100%. What are you talking about?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I'm like maybe coin flippage on this.
You would blow a male senior before you'd get vomited on?
Vomited on multiple times while getting bashed to the ground, and I don't want to get CTE, dude. Like I'd rather like just blow somebody for like 5 minutes than have to like have lasting damage from my head smashing against a keg, dude. I really hate violence. Like, you know what I mean? I'd much rather fucking
I don't like violence.
Get in there.
I don't like violence. I'm trying to think of stuff we did that would have been, what was our version of that? Because I thought the stuff we did was pretty stupid, but we didn't do anything that really was that crazy.
Yeah, same.
But we definitely did act. We used to play a game called, we played a game called Drop Ski, Drink Ski.
What's that?
This was, on the 2 times a year that we would go tailgate a Harvard football game because we didn't care at all about the football team. But so here's how it worked: you'd create a big ring of people, say 20 people, and they'd be you'd be let's say that the diameter of the circle was 25 feet. So from you to the farthest person right across from you, 25 feet.
Cool.
In the middle was a keg, maybe? Or no. In the middle was like a handle of Jim Beam, but also a big bucket of ice water with like beers in it, cold beers. And people would be throwing the football across the circle, and you'd kind of throw it, and if you saw someone who wasn't paying attention, you'd throw it at them. If they didn't catch the ball, they had to run into the circle take a big swig of Jim Beam, and then someone would come in with them, the person who had thrown them the ball would come in with them and hold their legs while they put their head underwater into the ice cold frozen water and count to like 20 or whatever. And then they would come out totally bewildered, and they had to go deep and catch a pass from that person. And if they didn't catch the deep ball, they had to come back and do it again.
Wow. So there were people who probably did it 5 times in a row.
Oh,
so.
yeah. You'd get tuned up.
Jesus. This is why I like at this point in my life, I would much rather sit back and just smoke some dad grass than do any of this shit, dude. I'm serious, man. Getting high without the high, dude.
Yeah, that's it. That's
You know
what
what I
you
mean?
need. Yeah, totally.
Dad grass, it feels like you're opening a pack of regular pre-rolls, but instead they're low in THC and very high in CBD, and they're not going to get you all stony baloney, as they say. Really, really good products. They make mom grass too. Hill Dog and I have really been enjoying it. It feels like you're smoking a regular old joint, but instead you are just chilling.
Good.
It's amazing. All Dadgrass products are federally legal for ages 21 and over, and it ships right to your door anywhere in the U.S. Again, smokable CBD joints. I mean, I guess I'm late to the party, but who knew?
It's the new revolution, man. It is the best.
It's
so
really
much
special.
gentler, so much smoother.
Dude, we love it. So anyway, right now, Dadgrass is offering our listeners 20% off your first order when you go to dadgrass.com/oops. Go to dadgrass.com/oops for 20% off your first order. That's dadgrass.com/oops.
Nice.
Can I tell you something? In college, we kind of did a less game version of that. We just did this thing called Dunkaroos where...
Yeah, we did those too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't know about this.
Tell
I don't
it.
know.
So someone like holds your legs up in like a giant tub of ice or whatever, and then you do like 10 seconds under there, and then you get up and someone smacks you in the face, and then you shotgun a beer.
Oh, we didn't do the smacking
Oh
in the
my
face. But we would do you'd chug and then
That's crazy.
I think the way we did it was that you would have a beer to chug, and however many seconds it took you to chug the beer, that's how long you had to spend underwater.
Yeah, we did that too. Oh, you're right.
You just
Yeah.
have been a fucking Harry Houdini
But yeah,
situation.
you always got smacked when you got out.
Sometimes we would be shirtless, and sometimes people would 5-star you while you were underwater, which is tough. That's really not fun.
You know what game we should play, dude? Speaking of like high five or whatever it's called. What's it called? High fiving? 5-starring, yeah. A fun, and I don't want you guys to think I'm not fun. I know I'm like sounding not that fun here, unless you're trying to get blown. Apparently, then I'm extremely fun. No, but like, you know, I just
love the idea that we like throw a big frat tailgate, and it's like we're all up for these games, and then someone's like, "Listen, guys, Julio doesn't really want to participate. In lieu of playing, he'll blow
be in the alley.
anybody. So if you feel like you'd rather have that option than getting 5-starred, he's your guy. He's your mouth."
No, dude, I've taken many keg stands, and actually in college, I used to like consider the first day of March Madness a holiday, and I would stay in my room and funnel beers by myself the whole day.
That's what you say. This is exactly what someone would say who's like trying to cover up for the fact that they're just like the lame blowjob guy. You know, the fact that they're like the guy who's like, "Oh, my mom said it's safer for me to just blow everyone. Like, they wouldn't approve of me drinking these beers so fast, so I'm just gonna blow." Like, you're the blowjob lame guy. Like,
Dude, I'm fun.
way to be cool. Like,
We should play. Do you ever play Sting Pong?
yeah.
You ever play that game?
I didn't really do that one.
We should play that.
That game sucks.
That's a good game. So if anybody doesn't know this game, you play ping pong. You play games to 3, I believe. And when you lose, you have to take your shirt up, and the other person gets to hit you as hard as they can.
Why
with
did
the ball.
we do this shit?
I still find that game fun.
We used to play Bloody Knuckles, like the quarter game at the cafeteria.
What's that? I don't know if I know
It's
that
where
one.
you'd sort of flick a quarter using your thumb across the table, and if it landed like within the goalposts or something like that,
Oh, like paper football?
you got to then the other opposing person had to put their hand flush with their knuckles down against the table, and you would whip the quarter at them as hard as possible, and it would make their knuckles bleed.
Oh my God. You throw it or you spin it?
You would slide
like,
it really
wow.
as fast as you could.
Oh my God.
It's like why weren't we?
So
You
terrible.
know, it was because we didn't have smartphones. Really, I think that's what it was. Like we weren't on TikTok,
There's
so we had to
nothing else to
invent.
do.
We were so starved for distraction that we would abuse ourselves.
Maybe phones actually are good for the young
Yeah,
kids.
maybe that's it.
Ryan, what's up?
Did you guys play hockey similar to Bloody Knuckles?
No.
So,
You mean the sport hockey?
no, the drinking game hockey.
Oh, okay.
So we all sit in a circle,
I think I know this.
and
game.
you have a beverage, and you have to protect it with your fingers as a goalie. And then someone spins the quarter. If your can gets hit, you have to drink. If you accidentally knock something over, then there's a penalty shot with like vodka or something like that. So that's what we
Jesus.
did. But we didn't do anything too crazy. But that one was a lot of fun.
Did you go to Quinnipiac?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big drinking school now.
Yeah, I'd say so. There was a big emphasis on going out.
Did the Moons own Quinnipiac University?
No.
It wasn't a
think so.
Mooney school? Sung Young Moon? Is that not true?
I don't
I'm just
believe
completely
so.
making that up. Chris, can we look this up?
Man, we're really going down the rabbit hole here.
College
All
rabbit
right.
hole.
If you're still listening, thank you. We'll get better here.
I'm pretty sure the Moons, it's like a Korean family or something. I have no idea. I need to read more about this. But I found out something interesting. I was teaching this Korean kid tennis back in the day. This kid Jamie, really nice, funny. He was actually a very funny kid. And I asked him how old he was. And he goes, well, I'm 7 here, but I'm 8 in Korea. And I was like, does that mean that like your birthday is tomorrow or something?
Huh.
You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm like, it's technically your birthday there, but not here. And I was like, how is that the case? And he was like, I don't know. And then he thought that was really funny. And then we both laughed about it. But I guess it turns out, and I might be wrong about this, but I think that when you're born in Korea, you're 1 as opposed to being
I've heard
0.
that. I've heard that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
I had not really put that together. I would not have put that together without you saying it here. That is really interesting.
Interesting side note that it's not that important. But that's true. That's accurate, Ryan. Yeah. Crazy. Fucking crazy. Dude, so listen to this. One of my friends had a baby. And she was having a home birth.
Wow.
And the midwife was fucking late.
Oh gosh.
So her husband just delivered the baby. Can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine? I think that baby would be dead if I were. If I were
can't
tasked
even
with
be
that.
bothered to help pick, appetizers for my wedding, let alone fucking go through the motions of birthing a child.
Like, dude, how is that even? It makes me think that maybe birthing a child isn't that hard, dude.
There we go. That's it. That's gotta be it.
But also,
I'm with you.
Here are some of the questions that I had. Okay, the kid comes out, right? Oh, there's his head push. Like, first of all, I don't even know about like what that actually, if that's even a real thing or not. Come on, babe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just see this fucking thing coming out, and then I mean, I guess it matters which way it comes out. Like, I don't know any of this. But then the umbilical cord, don't you have to cut it?
Yeah.
Did they have to wait for somebody to show up?
No, he's probably got some kind of a knife or scissors in the house.
You would, but I don't. At what
We've
point?
watched enough movies. We could figure it out.
I've never seen an umbilical cord be dealt with in a movie, and I've never seen a documentary like that.
Yeah, we're not going to get it perfect. We're not creating a nice, cute belly button on our first snip, but we'll get it trimmed enough where then the pro can come out in when they're ready. And
Will it not start gushing blood? Is it just pure cartilage?
You could probably tie it off like a balloon and wait from
my
that
God.
point forward. I don't know.
But do you literally just be like, listen, I'm waiting for you to get here, and then like your wife and the kid are connected still? Like, is that fine? I'm seriously
like
wondering.
the kid is a landline.
Yeah, like if I were able to successfully deliver the child, I don't think I'd know what to do on the next step, dude. With my then connected
I'm
kid.
just picturing the child
Hello?
as a rotary phone. You got to take the whole thing into the bedroom to talk to your high school girlfriend. Anyway, leave me alone.
It's crazy, dude.
dude.
It's pretty nuts, right?
Well, so there's some interesting things that I've learned here. The first thing is that America, I think, as a country, has the highest rate of cesarean birth in the world.
Interesting.
And the part of the reason is that hospitals resort to cesareans too quickly. in America.
Interesting.
It allows them to do the whole process much more quickly, as opposed to sort of having a doctor on hand for someone who's going through labor for 20 hours.
Is that how long it takes?
It depends,
Jesus.
right? Every woman's different, but yeah, labor can take a long
wow.
time, and to have doctors there through the night and all of that, as opposed to just, I think a C-section typically is a pretty easy procedure. You knock the person out, you go in, get the baby, sew them back up, and you're here you go. You're good to go. So, America, we for some reason, we've really kind of, doctors are very quick. The other side of it is that cesareans tend to be safer, per the science for the mother. You are less likely to, experience bleeding or hemorrhaging or any of that horrible shit. So the problem with this, though, is that we've kind of moved away from what
The
are called like
old-fashioned-
natural births. And I've heard that many women feel that there is or desire a natural birth because they think it's like, the original process. They feel more connected to the baby, all of that, as opposed to, just being put under anesthesia and waking up with your newborn in your arms.
How long in advance is that decision made?
It depends.
Sometimes on the spot, right?
Yes.
In which case you
could be
fucked if you're at home?
You could be planning for a natural birth and something could happen, a complication during the labor that the doctor will make a call and say, I don't want us to try this anymore. We're going to go in. But, I also know some people that, based on how things were shaping up, like a baby turned in the womb at the last minute and then was born like in breech is something they say, where it's like
feet first.
It could be that. I wish I knew more, but I'm trying to give the best I have. So, like if it looks like the baby's going to come out in a way that's, not ideal, not the head first way, then they might say, okay, unfortunately, we think we should do this. But, there has been a sort of a renaissance for midwives and home births,
right?
Because it's seen as sort of the answer to, the hospital in America being so likely to say, we think you should do C-section because midwives don't do C-sections.
Right.
They can't,
right?
As far as I know. So people are opting for these midwives who are trained in many ways. My issue is that if you opt for the midwife home birth route and something bad happens during the delivery of the baby, now you've got to get her to the mother to the hospital. Right. And I just don't think that I would want to risk anything like that.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
But that's a probably a very naive perspective. But again, Julio and I put these things out there because I know we're going to get a bunch of incredible nurses and OBGYN mothers who have the real answers to this, and we will address it on our next episode of the pod. So forgive us our sort of gaps of knowledge on this issue.
Yes. But super interesting for sure. And yeah, dude, what a trip that must be. I wonder, dude, do you think that they decide beforehand? Does it, if you're a bigger person, does it make it more likely that you can do a natural birth? Is that stupid of me to?
A bigger woman?
If you're just bigger, if you're if you're tiny, and if you're petite, is it harder to do a natural birth? Your size of your hips, do these things actually matter?
Question.
I don't know. So these are
wonder, do they measure the vagina?
I think the actual, vagina itself famously expands significantly to be able to do this, right? I don't know how else to say it.
We were doing so well, and now we've just been
we're not doing so well.
By the way, we
are not
don't
doing
know
well
anything. Again, just throwing it out there. Inform us. We would appreciate it.
So hot.
That's fine. That's all fine.
All right, dude. Well, real quick, I want to bring up a very important message from one of our sponsors.
Yeah.
to all of you, if you guys are in the market for a life insurance policy, Policy Genius is the place to make that decision.
Policy Genius.
Wonderful online marketplace, which will connect you with over a dozen top insurers all in one place. And you could save up to 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. You could save up to $1,300 or more per year on life insurance by using Policy Genius to compare policies. The people who work there are working for you to get you the best rate. They do not work for the insurance companies.
For you, working for you.
France and I have been talking about this, how, family planning can begin earlier than you might think. And quite frankly, I feel like it can maybe take away a lot of the anxiety that comes along with, getting older, or if you ever have those moments where you're like, oh shit, what would I do if XYZ were to ever happen? And it maybe can make you feel better having something like this in place,
Deal. For sure.
Getting started is easy. Go to policygenius.com. In minutes, you can work on how much life insurance coverage you need and compare personalized quotes to find your best price. When you're ready to apply, the Policy Genius team will handle the paperwork and scheduling for free. The exclusive policy was rated #1 by Forbes Advisor, higher than options from Ladder, Ethos, and Bestow, because you can be eligible to be covered in as little as a week, thanks to this award-winning policy. And that option swaps out the standard medical exam for a simple phone call. It's very cool. Go to policygenius.com to get started right now. Policy Genius. When it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right. But what about breastfeeding, dude? That's another thing that seems like pretty crazy to me.
Why?
It's just like amazing that it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's like nature fucking.
What's amazing to me is that in light of breastfeeding, that sort of sucking nipples has become an acceptable form of foreplay.
It's become, I feel like.
That it is.
It has been.
Yeah. But it's like, whoa, how come nobody's like, yo, that's weird. You're not a baby.
I know. Dude, I've thought
Don't
about
suck
this.
my nipples. You're not my son. How come nobody says that?
It's amazing the way that we're able to separate.
For the record, if I were single and I did that and a woman said that to me, I would be 100% on her side. I'd be like, you're absolutely right. Nobody said this to me, but your point of view is correct.
You're like, I'm doing this for you.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for.
I've met women who liked it, and you're the first who put it the way that it should have been put many times. So
it is amazing how many parts of our body can be multi-purpose.
yeah.
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 It's incredible. That's a good example.
Yeah. I like a nipple in the mouth. I can't lie. I like it.
I'm cool with it.
I don't like having my nipples. I don't like people playing with my
I don't
nipples.
either.
I don't like that at all.
I don't either.
Don't like it. Some guys
I've heard
do, I
people
think.
are into it.
Maybe.
I've
I don't
heard
know.
that they are.
Yeah.
I am not.
No, me neither. It
Nope.
kind of hurts.
Not for me.
Mm.
Nope. 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 Nope.
So, what are you reading, Julio?
Dude, while we're on this topic, I was thinking about this the other day, and I think this is something worth discussing. Boobs, right?
Uh-huh.
Boobs.
Yeah.
Okay. To me, besides boobs, any form of boob or tit are the only non-cringy words for boobs. Every single other word for them is something that is like is either like cringe or so cringe that it's actually hilarious.
That's funny that those are your choices.
Those are the ones that
I have no problem with breast,
I find breast cringe.
but I don't love tit.
If I say your breast to someone, that's insane.
Okay, yeah.
Your breast. Take out your breasts.
No, but you wouldn't say that.
When would you?
You're not a doctor.
But when would you be discussing breasts with someone then?
Breasts. How she
Her breasts. It's like
her
weird.
breasts have grown a lot since she became pregnant. Did you notice that? I would say that maybe in confidence to Sierra or something like that.
You'd be like, your breasts have.
No, I wouldn't say hey to her.
To
I
like
would
a
say
friend.
like of a friend of ours. Boy, her breasts are very
You would say that.
engorged.
You would say that. To
I might, and I would.
know.
She would know by virtue of me saying breast, it would be less crude.
So
It's more elegant and more scientific, in my opinion.
So I would go to tell you that, and I'd start thinking of what I was gonna say, and I wouldn't be able to say breast with a straight face to you, dude. It would be too insane.
So
then I would think about it for a second, and I'd be like, and through laughter, would be like, she's getting pretty milky, dude.
oh my God, that's
what I-
so much worse.
Milky.
She's getting milk. Those milk bags are
Do
filling
you
up.
see? There's a
Yeah, but what are we, fucking mechanics? No.
no, but any word for boob. What are some other words for them that you can think of? Dude, like-
jugs.
Dude,
Jugs.
Jugs is super cringe.
Her chest. Her chest.
Her chest is, I would argue, is pretty bad. So her chest.
So,
what
but
about you, honker?
yeah, I mean,
That's
now
so
we're getting into like cartoon
Honkers. I've heard
terms.
people say this. I've heard people say honkers. Hooters is bad.
Sweater puppies. Yeah, we can have fun with it.
Pups.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
We can
They're-
have fun with it, but it is anything other
Sweater
than I would
puppies.
say like there's a scale of
Dude.
crudeness of almost becoming demeaning or degrading or whatever, and at the top in terms of elegance and sort of respectful are breast, I guess, chest.
How about chesticles?
Yeah,
Dude,
chesticles
testicles
is pretty tough.
terrible.
That's probably the worst.
Testicles
Because
is
you've just
terrible.
taken a male private
These are
part
terrible.
and
Dude.
rebranded women as them.
I have a list here if you want to hear
No,
more.
hold on.
Yeah, maybe we should.
This is what I wanted to say though. That it's funny to me that tit is fine for you.
Yeah, titty. I have no problem saying that.
But okay. Let me ask you this. Same concept. You are having a conversation with Hillary about some friend of yours, a woman that you're friends with who is pregnant and her breasts are, growing as a result of her pregnancy. How would you say that to Hillary? Her tits are getting huge?
Yeah, probably.
You would say that?
Yeah.
See, I couldn't say that.
boobs. I would say boobs or tits, or I'd try to like, dude, because I don't know, man. Maybe I'm like being immature or something, but like I can't like breasts. Just sounds so like scientific and.
You want to hear something weird? I think tit is less disrespectful than tits.
Tit is less. Yeah,
Somehow one tit
I agree. You're right.
is more scientific and respectful than tits. Tits always feels like it's part of a cat call. Nice tits.
No, I agree. And honestly, anytime I've been doing stand up, if for some reason I'm talking about tits, tit, I always struggle with finding the proper thing to use.
So, okay.
And I've tried to say breasts, and it's ridiculous sounding. Breasts?
Yeah, but there's something
outta
funny in saying breasts on stage.
I feel like for you, I would agree with that. I
Yeah.
feel like it doesn't work as well for
I
you.
get what you mean by that. I know what
You
mean
like
by that.
speak more properly than I do.
Yeah. Well, I see what you mean though. To be making a crude joke, but to use respectful language, there's irony there.
But honestly, I don't even think I'd be making a crude joke. But you're right about that. But say that I'm like, I don't know when and how I've talked about this, but I know that if I have, it's probably not me saying like, oh, they're huge, like not being like a
Right.
savage, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just like
Right.
somehow mentioning that area of the body,
Yeah.
which
I
is
get you.
apparently what I now refer to it as.
I
Because
get
it's
you.
too hard to say the rest of it.
All right. Well, here, speaking of bodies, if you could, improve one part of your body, I don't think I've asked you this before, whether it was like get really toned, jacked legs or crazy swimmer shoulders or like washboard abs or, big python guns.
Mhm.
What would you do?
Man,
What's the number one place that you would improve?
I like sort of have big thighs, which I don't like. Like even when I'm like in a skinnier form of myself, I still sort of have this sort of like feminine like physique where I'm sort of like I'm sort of like voluptuous,
Oh.
which I get a little self-conscious about.
And the thighs are the number one contributor to
Ass, thigh area,
your voluptuousness.
my voluptuity.
Mm-hmm. Velociraptorness.
What about, I think for you, it would be your biceps potentially, right?
Yeah, I think having bigger arms would be, where every shirt looks like it's too small.
Mhm.
That would be cool.
That's your goal.
Where your sleeves of your t-shirts are just tourniquets cutting off the circulation to your hand. Your hands, you walk around with your hands purple, ready to shoot heroin at a moment's notice. Thanks to your t-shirt. That'd be cool. Well, G, we can definitely look up information on all of this stuff online, but I personally wouldn't want necessarily for people to find that I had been researching a lot of this. Do you know what I mean? I don't love having that internet footprint out there, which is why I like to use ExpressVPN, baby. I know most of you are probably thinking, why don't you just use incognito mode? Let me tell you something. Incognito mode does not hide your activity. Doesn't matter what mode you use or how many times you clear your browsing history, your internet service provider can still see every single website you've ever visited. That's why even when I'm at home, Julio, I never go online without using ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers so your ISP can't see the sites you visit. ExpressVPN also keeps all of your information secure by encrypting 100% of your data with the most powerful encryption available. Most of the time, I don't even realize I have ExpressVPN on. Keeps everything completely normal. Honestly, I just go about my day on the internet. ExpressVPN is available on all your devices, phones, computers, even your smart TV. So there's no excuse for you not to be using it. Protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by CNET. You visit my exclusive link, expressvpn.com/oops, and get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/oops, expressvpn.com/oops to learn more.
Dude, I love that because anytime I've used a VPN, it always I try to do my normal stuff and I can't. And then I find out that they think I'm in Jakarta or something.
I know.
You know what I mean? Sometimes the VPN thing, it's nice to know that that's so easy to use.
Spot on.
Because you can be secure without having to get locked out of your bank account permanently.
Hey, bingo, dude.
You know what I mean?
VPNs are great.
Such a pain in the
as I
ass.
said to you, I was in China and I'd never experienced, being locked out of pretty much the 5 websites
Everything.
that I utilize the most.
Crazy.
Or, my Gmail, all that stuff. So I had to download a VPN. I downloaded ExpressVPN and it was,
Very good.
it brought me instantly back home
I love it.
effectively
I
through
love
the
it,
internet.
dude. I
So
love it. Very cool.
are you, talk to me about cryptocurrency really quick.
Okay.
I want to hear your thoughts on it because you expressed something to me, which I think a lot of people feel. You had a little bit of FOMO.
So okay, a couple things. So I've been playing around with it for a while. I think 2016 was the first time I started dabbling, and I bought some of the main ones at the time. Bought some Bitcoin, bought some Litecoin, and then it had a moment where things started going up 2x, 3x. I was like, holy shit! And at some point, I needed to sell it because I needed money. So I sold Ethereum at the time. It was at $1,200, which was. It was actually a great time to get out because it then went down to 200 and whatever, right? But now it's back with a vengeance. Ethereum hit its all-time high today as we're recording.
Yeah.
And it's kind of so I had sold some of it a few weeks ago because I had ridden it up and then it went way back down. And I was like, you know what? Next time it hits XYZ number, I'm going to sell a percentage. I did that. Ended up being the wrong time to do that because it's gone up another $1,100 per coin. I don't know if I necessarily believe in cryptocurrency. I don't know anything. And anytime anyone tells me anything about it, it sounds pretty hollow, speculative, whatever. But the idea of my stupidest friends becoming rich and me completely missing out on that is enough for me to put a significant amount of money into it. That is my feeling on cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
I don't want the dumbest people I know to be rich. Granted, very intelligent people that I know also are involved. But I try to just play a little bit when I can and not be overexposed. That's where I stand.
Do you know what it is for me, dude? I trust the Winklevoss twins. I trust them.
Right. They have a whole crypto fund, right?
Those guys were going to be rich regardless of what happened to them. Whether it was, Mark Zuckerberg not coming along and them choosing some other computer programmer from CS50 at Harvard. That's the computer science class that everyone takes, and getting a kid who was more willing to work with them and not effectively take the idea from them and run with it himself. In say, you know, they had been the faces of Facebook or whatever. Boy, what an interesting
Right.
world that would be, you
Right,
know?
right.
I wonder what Facebook would look like if the Winklevoss twins
We're at
were
helm.
the two guys leading it. But you know, then obviously they got pretty pathetic settlements from that whole case. I think they got like $50 million each, which at the time we all thought like, whoa, that's pretty sick. And then of course Facebook became worth, you know, $40 billion or whatever
Right.
the fuck it is, and that we're all laughing at them. And everyone rooted against them. And I've said this before, and it's like, I don't really know why we all hate the Winklevoss twins. I think it's because they represent, you know, privilege and excess
Douchery.
and douchery. And yet somehow I would have a beer with the Zuckerbergs over with the Winklevoss twins over Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, they seem like
7
much
days of
likable
the week.
characters. Like when all has been said, and at this moment, they seem like much more likable guys. Than
I
you
would
guys.
trust them with my like social security number and private information and banking
Over him.
over Mark Zuckerberg any day of the fucking week.
100%.
You know, Mark Zuckerberg is the villain.
Right.
So they are now massive crypto
Yeah.
guys. They're each worth over $4 billion now.
Right.
So they've made their money back.
So, but I always wonder. So I wonder about that. I'm like, I wonder if the mod. I feel like, and I'm completely pulling this out of my ass, but like the way that those guys are doing it versus the way Scott fucking whoever on Reddit is doing it is different. Like they are. I feel like if you're a savvy crypto investor, you're like setting targets, investing huge amounts of money in them, and then taking the money out when you hit them, and doing that over and over again.
I think their general philosophy is just don't touch it.
Really?
It's buy and hold.
Really?
Yeah. They are.
So I wonder about that, dude, because again, there's no rules about this shit. So you can say that. You can be the Winklevoss twins and say that, and then you can behave in a different way
It's
and not get in
possible.
trouble.
It's definitely possible. And, you know, I think if you were to apply sort of more strategic, let's say stock trading philosophy to cryptocurrency, it's, you know, a safer way to do it would be to, as you watch your crypto investment rise, you would take out, you know, 10% at various increments, and then, you know, leave an amount in
So
where
you can
you've
buy back in.
you've kind of covered your initial investment,
Right.
and you don't stand to make as much, but if it were to go to the moon, you would still you wouldn't feel that FOMO as
Right,
strongly
right,
because
right.
you've
So-
got some stake in it.
And you know, fortunately, you know, I have done that at this moment. So I'm hoping that I end up not having too much FOMO because I stuck to my plan. I've taken out I took out most of my initial investment in two of my biggest things that I invested in.
Yeah.
And even though they've continued to go way up, hopefully I made the prudent decision when all is said and done, you know?
Yeah. I unfortunately am a total moth in my life now.
What does that mean?
A moth to flame. And
that is a metaphor that I'm not familiar with.
so I am enchanted by cryptocurrency and want to learn more about it simply because it's the new hot thing.
Right. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. People are making so much money.
Yeah, but you know, I find that I want to tell myself that one of the reasons I'm so interested in cryptocurrency is because, you know, it presents a new way of financing, and it you know, is a hedge against inflation, and that the blockchain presents a way of, you know, decentralized finance, that governments will have less control over the value of your money, all of that. But the bottom line truth of it,
You want to make money.
well, it's that I want to make money, and also I hear all these people talking about it, and I'm like, what's that about? You know, that's it. I'm just a kid wanting the new hot toy.
Totally.
And I'm very, very interested in it. But that I do not mean that I know anything about it. I just want to learn more about it.
Yeah.
And if at this moment, comedy and the world of comedy and all the opportunities of comedy went dark and were no longer available, somebody flipped a switch, comedy disappeared from the world, I would go into crypto.
Interesting.
That's what I would do
Cool.
in some way.
That's cool. You get your beak wet, as Brent would say.
I just think, I don't know, man. And it might be a really stupid thing to do. And it's funny because it's so polarizing. Because I have smart friends who are making money more traditional ways.
Yeah.
And they fucking
They all hate it.
They hate it.
Yeah. As Brent says, you can't bark at every car that goes by.
They hate that other people who they think are less smart than they are have found ways to get rich like them. And they talk about how much they're going to enjoy the day where it all comes crashing down. Yeah. Because the thing about crypto people is that part of their success relies on them
being reckless,
convincing other people that there's value in it.
All right. Yeah.
So they have to go around as proselytizers about the value of this very thing that they're involved in.
Yeah. My most successful finance people that I know, some of them love to even ask the most basic questions about crypto that I know they know the answers to, just to prove the point that they completely disregard it.
Yeah.
So the idea of like the man coming up, dude, like that whole GameStop thing, the fact that like people got rich off that, I love that, dude. Yeah, I love that they fucking stuck it to the man who had all these short positions. They made all this money. The idea of that story makes me happy.
I don't like that. I don't like GameStop or Dogecoin, or I don't like any of those things. I don't like the stuff of, pumping it and
stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's pointless.
What do you mean? All these people are making, all these like random people are making a bunch of money.
It's a little bit like when I think in the 50s they started selling pet rocks.
Oh. Or like the tulips thing.
Well, it's less that, in my opinion. Everyone compares it to the tulip. Yeah, the tulip thing, which I get. But to me, when I say the pet rock thing, it's like they started selling pet rocks and people started buying them with a chuckle, as if they thought they were in on the irony, right?
Mhm.
But
Right.
the reality was the only people who were actually in on the irony were the people selling the pet rocks.
Right.
And I just think that, the people, whatever. It's not even worth. I understand that a lot of people get turned off when people start talking about crypto or, meme stocks and all of that. But it's just been such an upheaval of traditional financial investing that we've seen over the last year or two. And as somebody who has never really been part of it one way or another, I find myself deeply intrigued.
Yeah, no, dude, me too. I definitely have skin in the game, and I'm definitely interested.
I have,
if only for what were you say?
I have the thinnest amount of skin in the game.
Yeah, but
dude, I mean, I have bought Ethereum in 5 different installments. Anytime that I had a little extra change
cash
at the end of the month, I would throw $600, $800 into it. My $5,600 total investment at this point is worth over $11,000.
Unbelievable, dude.
Oh, it's almost doubled.
Congrats. It's cool.
Well, that's preposterous. That scares me too.
I know, but
because why? I can't explain why.
Yeah, I can't either. But dude, that's dope.
You know what the sick part is? I say to myself, all right, if I took this money out right now, I'd be thrilled. I did nothing and my money doubled. I would be thrilled.
Short period of time.
I would be thrilled. I've done nothing and I watched my money double. I'm the man. Okay? However, as soon as I have my thumb hovering over sell,
can't do it.
I just think, my God, what if tomorrow it goes up 10%?
I know.
What if the next day it goes up 15%?
That's how they get you.
And I'm going to be sick to my stomach.
That's how they get you.
And it's like, that's how I am a sucker.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker because you should find a way to be happy with what you've got, and doubling my money would make me happy.
Yeah. But to your point, you can set little targets and stick to them, and everybody wins.
Okay.
But dude, to your point, crypto's a funny thing because it's like become one of those like late night conversation things. Like to me, crypto is as like consistent of a thing if like it's a late night and people are doing drugs.
Yeah.
It's as consistent of a topic as the guy who's like hogging the YouTube and it's like, have you guys seen that little Dicky video where the girl comes over? It's like, dude, please don't put that on. Like it requires too much attention and it's good, but like this is not the time for it. This is not a cocaine music video. That is a staple of the late night hang, the same way Brooklyn Roasting Company is a staple of the next morning.
Oh, after a late night like that, you gotta brew up a steaming cup of Joe.
After a late night party, you gotta cook up some Way Tananga, dude.
Yeah, you sure do. They've got a new one out right now. I just tried this morning called 3D, and I don't even know what it is, but it's absolutely special, dude. It's special. And I've gotten right back on the Iris espresso train as well.
Oh, dope.
I love their Iris. Iris he named it after the guy who runs Brooklyn Roasting named it after his daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I was wondering where that came from. I
Yeah.
thought it was like, this is stupid. I
Isn't
thought it
that
was like
cool?
some Egyptian thing.
No.
Is Iris a god or something?
The
think
names
I
all
pulled it
have purpose.
That's cool.
Their coffee is incredible. Their branding is incredible. I really stand by this product.
It's the best. And it will improve your sex life as well.
So says Julio. His words, not mine.
Brooklyn Roasting Company.
Yeah, get it join up in the Coffee of the Month club that they've got going there. They've got a subscription service, or you can just buy a la carte. They're incredible tins that we love so much. They make for great espresso martinis too. I can post the recipe that I like to use for espresso martinis on the Oops the Podcast Instagram account. BrooklynRoasting.com, promo code OOPSBEANS will get you 5% off of your order. Get them today. Don't delay. It's the best coffee I've ever had.
Good shit.
So, last story, I promise, from my Richmond weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed your Richmond
I keep
weekend
remembering
stories.
different parts of it.
What a jam-packed weekend of action,
Yeah.
dude.
I was hanging out with, after the show with those guys that I told you about. I went golfing with Mump and
E.
yeah. It's perfect. It's nice to use sort of nicknames because I don't worry that I'm getting them in trouble. But we went to a bar after one of the shows, and a couple of the other people who had come to the shows were there. So we sort of made a big circle and had a couple drinks, and it was great. There was this great couple from DC that was there, and they were really, really nice. But the couple did not know the other group, and I'm sort of sitting in the middle, and I'm talking to everybody, and at one point, I got on a topic of, golf with one of the guys that I was going golfing with the next day, as we do, and it's so hard as someone who loves golf to remember when I'm talking about golf in front of people who don't play golf that it is the worst thing that anyone could have to possibly
Endure.
listen to.
That's funny.
And I'm not kidding you. We're like, maybe, I don't know, a couple minutes into this conversation, and I'm just totally unaware that we're now on golf and we're deep in the golf
mode.
talk. The guy to my right, the guy from DC who came with his couple, says to his girlfriend, we should get going. This conversation is boring. Swear to God. And audibly, like I heard it
That's
word
funny.
for word. And you know what? He was right.
Yeah.
He was absolutely right. And it was such a wake-up call because as soon as he said that, it was like that moment where you come out of some sort of like reverie or dream state and you start seeing things for how they actually were. I looked at, Mump's wife, and she's politely listening, but I could tell she probably was like, man,
She had checked out.
here go the men again talking about golf. Like, this is so boring. And instantly I was ashamed. I was ashamed that I had allowed our golf conversation to go as long as it had, and it was not engaging or inviting for the whole group. And so I apologize to everyone, and I appreciate Brandon, if you're listening, for calling us out on that. It was well done. I needed it.
You got out of that sand trap and right on the green.
That's
dude.
it. I needed a little kick in my Bermuda shorts.
Dude, it would be funny if we did our own ICO oops coin.
Ooh. Would you have
Imagine.
any idea how to mint that? Like how
I
that
think
works?
that like you could just fucking hire people to do it and it's like not that expensive, like starting an app. Imagine we just right? Is that wrong? I think there's like
wonder.
a lot.
Probably not cheap. I don't think it's cheap.
But we don't know. None of
don't
us know
know.
anything.
You have
We
to
don't know.
hire like a team of people to.
Chris, is
Program
you're
it.
the expert now on coin
No,
stuff.
I'm gonna stop talking.
I'm just wondering. Like, I have no idea. I also have no idea, but it could be interesting. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oops coin. We all fucking
coin.
make some cash, dude.
Hell yeah, that'd be fun.
The
I
oops
would
coin.
dig that for sure.
That would be dope, dude. All of a sudden we just have a coin that makes us a shit ton of money.
Yeah. Or, watching a Brinks truck total on the highway and the driver gets decapitated and all of a sudden there's nobody around to watch us make
all the money.
off with 6 duffel bags of cash.
We have an update.
Seems just as likely as that oops coin going to the moon.
Depending on your needs, creating a cryptocurrency can cost anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000.
Dude.
Does that seem like the right way to invest? What is a sizable amount of money?
Dude, we get everybody to invest. Pump it, dude. We get everybody on Twitter.
Pump it for our fans.
That's ridiculous. Okay, dude, we have a couple of interesting email topics that we should get into potentially, if you're interested. One of these is called Packing While Drunk. What's up, guys? Big fan of the podcast, blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to suck 2 dicks at once. All right, Jesus, dude.
Whoa.
Unless, anyway, I'm super
Unless
drunk.
you're playing Dropski Drinkski, in which case Julio will get in there for you.
Anyway, I'm super drunk right now and I have a flight in 6 hours. He actually wrote, I have a fight in 6 hours, which is pretty funny.
Could be.
When I got home from the bar tonight, I still had to pack and realized nothing sobers you up more than packing drunk. Maybe I'm just fucked up. Who knows? Thought you guys would have some interesting stories about this. Maybe not. I don't know.
It is an interesting thing. This is worth talking about.
It does not sober me up.
It doesn't sober me up, but doing it makes me think that I'm doing good for myself.
And are you usually or no?
Here's what I'll say. Like, I wasn't drunk on Saturday night when I was coming home from Richmond, but it was late and I knew I had a really early flight and I just wanted to go to bed. And I weighed the value of packing before going to bed and, staying up later and then waking up in the morning to a packed bag and just going,
right,
versus going to bed, waking up a little bit earlier, packing and going. And in my mind, I thought I will sleep better if I've packed.
Mm-hmm.
So I packed.
That's interesting.
And it was late.
So I would argue that is easier to do than packing to go. Because once you're there, you have all your stuff and it's your hotel room.
Yeah.
So it's like anything that isn't already in the hotel room goes in the bag. So it seems less daunting.
I wasn't going to forget anything. Yeah,
right.
Right.
Whereas I think if I pack drunk, I'm likely to forget certain things. Toiletry items. That's the time I forget my toothbrush. I probably won't forget clothes. And chances are I'll be able to pack properly for the weather wherever I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'll be more likely to forget specific things like shavers or the right shaver that I needed depending on what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
or if that type of fucking thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I definitely prefer not to have to do that.
Packing drunk, you leave really important things. Deodorant.
Yeah.
Leaving your deodorant is
Ugh.
you just are a disgusting person. And even if you know immediately and then you get yourself to a CVS or whatever to go buy more deodorant, that amount of time that it takes to do that, you still smell for a little bit.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah.
You got to throw on the deod ski.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I've gotten pretty fucking good at packing to the point where I have a travel size of every single item.
Wow.
And I even have a row in my cabinet of only exclusively
Backups?
travel size things.
Of backups?
Well,
you have backups for your travel size
It
things?
depends what thing. Like I have a backup small deodorant in a bag that I use for the gym, as well as a bag that I take with me on the road. Because I sometimes like the gym deodorant isn't as good if I have to shower there.
Where do you buy your travel size things from?
It's usually CVS or online.
Online? Amazon?
So no, this is what I do with shampoo. I will take an existing travel size shampoo bottle, completely wash it out, and then take my actual shampoo.
Yeah,
I'll squirt
nice.
it into the mini thing.
That's good.
I do with the conditioner too.
Nice.
Which is solid. I don't know. What about you? Where do you get it?
I struggle. That's my reason I asked. I don't know
Mhm.
where to get travel sized versions of the things that I use. I also use somewhat.
What do you need for the most part?
All right.
What things are you wondering about?
Such
Because
a
deodorant's easy.
fucking ridiculous thing to
No,
talk about.
deodorant's easy. Shaving cream's easy. Obviously, toothbrushes are easy.
But let me tell you what I bring.
Okay.
I have, because actually people do often ask me about my skincare regimen. I have obviously my electric toothbrush. I bring travel size toothpaste. I bring shaving cream in a travel bottle, a razor, deodorant regular sized. But then I bring, I have to bring a travel sized version of my face wash.
Yeah,
That's where it gets tricky.
I do that too. Yeah.
And then I bring a travel sized version of like my night face cream.
And this is something that you do manually. You will like put it into a travel size version.
No.
Oh, you like buy it.
I have to buy those,
Oh,
and those are
interesting.
harder to find.
So you can make your own.
How?
So you
Take the bigger ones and then just put them in the smaller bottles.
So
and shit?
you can buy travel size, like random bottles that can be used for anything, multi-purpose bottles. But what I do instead of doing that, I literally will wash out a mini moisturizer thing, like very thoroughly, so that there's no like cross contamination. And then I will take my specific products and fill those things up with it.
Interesting.
And it works like a.
I
like a
worry
breeze.
that I would fill up a travel shampoo bottle with toothpaste or something like that or whatever it is, and then go to put shampoo in my hair, and all of a sudden my hair smells like mint.
Yeah, you have to use bottles that it makes sense for.
Okay.
So
All
you
right.
bring your travel size toothpaste, but then you use a travel size shampoo bottle that had other shampoo in it previously.
Hmm.
And honestly, I find that one that you would buy at the store, say it's like a mini Garnier Fructis or whatever, you pour that out, put your shit in it, works better than just using a hotel
Yeah.
one. Because honestly, the hotel shampoo, conditioner, any of that stuff, it like, typically doesn't cut it unless you're staying at the fucking Ritz.
It's so bad.
It's bad. Even at like decent hotels, it's usually really bad.
Yeah.
And you can feel how bad it is.
You know what I've gotten into? Well, I actually told you about this because I was thinking, those shampoos and those things. The only people who would like those are the real men. Are the real men we talk about? The guys with dirt under their fingers.
Dude, I have a great thing to take us out with if you want it.
Oh, please.
You're going to love this. This is going to be very validating for you.
Because the real men thing is just, I've become more and more fixated on these guys.
So a few weeks ago, Francis...
Really? Can I pause?
Please.
Today I was walking back from the subway and there were guys scaling the scaffolding and they were putting on rock climbing harnesses, hooking themselves
Wow.
in.
That's crazy.
And I was like, that's the realest man thing I've seen in a long time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Those are
Fucking
some real men right
urban
there.
Tarzan, dude.
Yes. And they were all laughing and having a great time. And I thought to myself, boy, if only I could be a real man.
Okay, so anyway, Francis and I got into it a little because I said that the generalizations that Francis was making about these real men came off as condescending. Francis then said that he disagreed. We talked about it a little bit, ended up being water under the bridge. But this is an email that we got that I
good.
think Francis is going to find validating.
Excellent.
It's called Ham Sammy Can Confirm. Hello, Julio and Francis. I shit you not, I was listening to your latest episode on my way to a job site. My dad, brother, and I operate a construction company in Ohio. I pull in around to lunchtime, and they come over to their truck, put down the tailgate, and whip out their lunch boxes.
Yes.
And what do
Yes.
you suppose they have packed? Ham sandwiches.
Ham sandwiches.
Not a single vegetable.
Not a vegetable. No vegetables in sight. No avocado. Get out of here.
My mom packs their lunches and stocks their cooler, their huge cooler with ice and waters. They dig into lunch with the filthiest hands, dirt under their fingernails. Then my sweet, hardworking father proceeds to whip out his pocket knife and cut the sandwich in half.
Wow.
And
A
offers it to
pocket
me.
knife. Oh my God. This is porn. I love this stuff.
Francis is fucking rocked up. Listen to this, dude. All right. Now I have seen that knife perform a myriad of tasks involving all sorts of materials and items covered in dirt, oils, and lubricants and what have you. But here it is, also used for culinary duties. Pictures are attached. I had to capture these events due to the pure irony of listening to the way that, of listening to that on the way and to show you. Anyway, I love the bit about construction workers and could tell you were in awe They are truly dirtballs in the most complimentary way. And the ones I work with are upstanding men. And Francis, if you ever want to operate the bulldozer, excavators, aka the hoe, or some big loud gas guzzling tools, let us know. We'd be happy to have you. Just bring your helmet. Francis, I think you got to go do this.
Dude, are you joking
I
me
think you
right
gotta
now?
go do this. Check it out.
This has become a thing? Look at that.
How fun of a video is that?
Oh
Francis
my
on the fucking job
God,
site,
dude, I am definitely going to go
hanging with the
to
boys.
Ohio, did he
Ohio.
say? And he'll let me, I don't need a permit. She will let
will
me,
let
I don't
you-
need a permit or anything
No,
like
they
that?
own the company. Just bring your fucking hard hat, pal.
And a ham sandwich?
Bring that bike helmet of yours.
Can I put like a sort of like a mayonnaise alternative
Bro,
spread on there?
I think you could if you wanted.
You think I could
This
do
is a video of him cutting the sandwich with
like
the
a
pocket knife.
vegetable oil based mayonnaise, like an aioli maybe, a garlic aioli on my sandwich? You don't think they'd have a problem with that?
I don't think you'd have to. I mean, now that you've announced it, I think you've already created a problem for yourself.
He cut the sandwich in. The sandwich was in a bag, and he reached into the bag
with
to
a
cut
pocket
it.
knife and cut it in half. It actually looks really fucking good too. The sandwich.
Yeah, but did you see how he cut it sort of across the middle instead of across
Oh,
diagonally?
I prefer that cut.
Do you like the
not?
middle cut?
I like the middle.
I
cut.
like the middle cut. You can hold the sandwich more easily.
and it's also. I feel like the side cut. You're just eating a lot of bread, dude.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Even though it's the same.
Yeah, doesn't feel the
Geometry.
same though. I know what you mean.
I don't know. I see a venti Starbucks here though. I don't know.
That's become blue collar. Starbucks has
Venti
become blue
Starbucks?
collar. I don't
Okay.
like Starbucks anymore at all.
Okay.
I would never drink a Starbucks. But if I were a real man, I would be drinking Starbucks.
I love this, dude. Well, Francis, we got to get you on the job site. That's
Oh
what
my
we're
God,
for.
that is thrilling news. I am going to take them up on that.
That's it for today, everybody. Oops, the podcast. We are going to figure out what we're going to do with these shirts. We will have some at the live show for whoever decides to come or whoever has bought tickets. And we hope to be announcing more dates for the new year. We hope that you guys are all doing well and continue to send us your emails and stories. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of good intel about how the female anatomy works. And we are humble students of the game and look forward to learning more. And for Francis, I am Julio.
So long, everybody.
Adios.
Take care.